रोहित सर ने ज्वाइन कर लिया है। डॉक्टर अनिल दीक्षित नाम से आपको होस्ट बनाइए।
ओके सर। डन सर।
2 मिनट में स्टार्ट कर रहे हैं सर लेक्चर।
ठीक है। पानी पियो।
जब तक हमारे पार्टिसिपेंट्स ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं तब तक हम थोड़ा सा परिचय सर का बता देते हैं। डॉक्टर अनिल दीक्षित साहब obtained his BSc Agriculture in 1987 with first rank gold medal from IG and MSc and PhD degrees from the prestigious Indian Agricultural Research Institute, New Delhi. PG Diploma 2021 in Education Technology Management from NARM and University of Hyderabad. Dr. Dikshit served as scientist 1993 to 1998 at ICR NARM Hyderabad, ICR IIW and VR Karnal, ICR DWR Jabalpur, scientist senior scale 1998 to 2002 at ICR DWR Jabalpur, senior scientist and principal scientist, and now joint director in ICR NIBSM Raipur. Dr. Dikshit has made outstanding in the science, beat management for the country. Out a document in the shape of Beat Atlas in 2 volumes from the entire nation. He has brought out a document in the shape of Beat Atlas, entire nation. He has contributed a lot to linking scientists with farmers and contributed towards the transfer of agricultural technologies to the end users. He has published more than 300 publications in the form of research papers, 72 articles, 35 books, 15 bulletin chapters, 52 technical journal extension folder, 34 technical reports manual, 40 presented papers in symposia, 60 policy paper 2 to prepare guidelines for the use of herbicide tolerant crops. He was conferred best scientist award, CWSS fellow, ISF fellow award, ISWS fellow award, Bharat Shiksha Ratna award, Nobel Scientist of the Year, Fakhruddin Ali award, and many more. Dr. Dikshit has been recognized as member of expert and pesticide review committee of Central Insecticide Board, Institute Management Committee, ICR DWR Jabalpur, Atari Jabalpur, ICR NIVSM Raipur, Member Secretary Research Advisory Committee, ICR NIVSM, Member Secretary QRT NIVSM 2 times, Member Krishi Kalyan Abhiyan for Aspirational District of Dantewada and Sukma in Chhattisgarh, Member Board of Studies and ICR NIVSM Raipur and Academic Council Member IRI New Delhi, Member Academic Council in MIT University 2023 and Vice President of Indian Society of Beet Science. He was convener for International Agronomy Conference 3 times, member of editorial board, member of National Steering Committee of 5th International Agronomy Conference. Most recently has been honored with ISA Gold Medal for outstanding contribution in the field of agronomy. He has visited Thailand twice and Philippines for academic excellence. Over to you, sir.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Ankur Sharma, for making my comprehensive introduction to the dear participants who are assembled here for a very important training program, which has been designed for the students, researchers, and extension personnel who are really making a shape for the Viksit Bharat 2047, in which I think you might be dealing with all sort of recent advances and the innovations as far as the agriculture development is concerned. As I am the one of the organizing chairman also for this important training program, so it's my duty to brief you about the recent advancement is happening in the agriculture before switching over to my topic of advancement in the wheat science, which I will deal to you today. And as far as the major challenges in Indian agriculture is concerned, so I think you will definitely see that low productivity is the major concern in many of the areas. And today also, Minister of State for Agriculture and Farmers Welfare, Mr. Bhagirath Chaudhary Saab was there, and he conducted one meeting regarding the public-private partnership. And all the ICR institutes director and the scientists and the progressive farmers from the each institutes were involved. And these all initiatives is being taken by the government of India, that how best we may go for the recent advancement in the field of agriculture and how we can increase the productivity and their livelihood, their income. So these are the major concern about the government, which is really working hard for upliftment of their livelihood, socio-economic status of our farmers. Because most of the farmers, they belong to the marginal and the low holding size. So we have to develop the technology considering the small farmers. And our Honorable Agriculture Minister also addressed in recent meetings that scientists should work and give the stress for the small farmers also. Of course, we always talk about the many of the advancements, whether it is related to CRISPR technology or the gene editing. So, of course, those are also very much required to have a major breakthrough in the area of agriculture. But certainly, small things are also needed to be given the importance and the stress. So I was talking about the low productivity and the high cost of production. So that is the major concern and the challenges. Then the limited diversification, because many of the times we used to tell to the farmers that we have to go for the diversification. Many times farmers are just having a routine kind of system, rice wheat system, and that's why we are coming up the different problems. Our water table is getting down, and certainly the kind of yield level which we are supposed to, because rice wheat system is the major system which is getting the maximum yield production of 242 million ton out of 330 million ton. Our grain production is 330 million ton. So out of 330, 242 is the from the rice wheat, and remaining is from the other crops, pulses and the oil seeds. So certainly our focus from the government side is for the oil seed mission, pulse seed production program. So those are the area which needs proper attention. And degraded soil, as far as the NRM is concerned, that is also a part of the our focus area. and depleting water resources. I told you that's why the farmers are being asked to go for the direct seeded rice DSR system. So that is also a major concern. And of course, that my institute, that the Biotech Stress Institute, which is really focusing on the biotech stresses, which deals with the insect disease and the weeds. So these are the three important area where we have to focus it on, and definitely the huge losses is there. Roughly around 140 billion crore is the loss due to different insect disease pest. And then high climate risk. Always we talk about the climate variability, developing the climate resilient varieties. So these are the certain challenges in which the Indian agriculture has to move around, and it has to be focused in different area. And certainly we talk about the digital initiative taken by the in agriculture. So certainly the government has focusing on the national e-governance plan in agriculture, then digital public infrastructure. That is also one of the issue, and we are focusing it on. Then PM Kisan Mobile is also farmers are getting the benefit of these kind of schemes. Soil health card. Certainly for the last 3 years, we have created such an environment for the farmers, and we are having a roughly around the 14 crore soil health card in different schemes. Then Kisan Sathi, this is also one of the initiative by the government has taken for the benefiting of the farmers only. And so that is also, and the Pradhan Mantri Fasal Bima Yojana. So these are some of the digital initiative taken by the government. So definitely these are the important aspects which we have to be digital innovations and the potential area to be focused for this Viksit Bharat 2047. So this is my certain pathway for the in the area of agriculture. We are heading way, and definitely the many of the institutions are working for this area, promoting for different agricultural innovations, and our extension machineries are also giving a proper shape. Even in the one of the program of the ICR Foundation Day on 16th July, our Honorable Minister for Agriculture initiated, in fact, instructed to the DG ICR and the other ICR officials and the officials from the DSC and the ministry, that all the ICR institutions involved in the extension activity should also be taken part in the KVK affairs, and they should make a compulsorily visit to those KVKs and try to have a database on the what are the issues related to their location specific, because the location specific research is also very important aspects if you are dealing with the small farmers. So his major concern was to have a focused area for the small farmers. Now coming to my talk related to the recent advances, the future of weed management, which is the topic has been assigned to me, and certainly we would like to discuss the issues which are very much important, and definitely we would like to have an interaction with you people. So this is my topic, the future of weed management, integrating technology and ecology. So if you look at the Indian agricultural data, because now we are talking about the Viksit Bharat 2047. So if you talk today of 2023 or 2024, so then what would be the status at 2047 when we talk about the Viksit Bharat? So food grain production is roughly around 330 million ton, but at 2047, we need to have a production of 520 million ton. Likewise, food production, vegetable production, cereal course, cereal milk availability, and the farm mechanization. So all, I think, needs to be doubled almost. So this kind of situation is there. and water use efficiency, which is 40 nowadays, and the nitrogen use efficiency is roughly around 35%. So that needs to be elevated to 50 to 60%. And export also we have to increase. Right now it is 2.5%. So we need to have at least 5% to have a more exchequer in our basket. Coming to the sustainability issue for the crop production. So basically, when we talk about the agriculture issue, so already I have narrated in my introductory talk about this training program, about the issues that how the declining soil health, crop residue management, labor shortage, multiple nutrient deficiencies, also another issues related to agriculture, declining crop response, high energy requirement, and lower income. So these are the certain issues which needs to be focused as per the agriculture issues point of view. The other ecological issues are related to the water table and groundwater pollution. So we have a different ministries which are taking care, but in collaboration with those ministries, the agriculture ministry are also working hard to address the issue of declining water table and the groundwater pollution. And against the ecological point of view, I think you might be seen that in different locality, the diverse weed flora is there. So coming to the addressing those weed flora and how to manage those weeds under different crops and cropping system, that also needs a comprehensive study, and this all should be done in an integrated manner. Today also, when we were discussing about the public-private partnership, many industry or many institutions are working in separately. So that needs to be integrated. Then only the incomplete solution, the farmers which are expecting from us, so that will be given to them. Then insect disease pests, already I have told you that how the insect pest disease is the important aspects and how the country is suffering with the loss of $140 million crore. So those issues has to be taken care. And climatic issues is nowadays burning topic. Everybody talks about the different forum that how the climate changes and the climate issues are important. Now, coming to the population growth and food demand, the current global production population is around 8 billion, is expected to reach 10 billion by 2050. So to feed this population, world food production needs to be increased by 70 to 100%. And the current total global grain production is around 2.3 billion metric ton. So assuming an overall yield loss of 10% due to weeds. And if this losses can be reduced by half, so grain production would be increased by more than 115 million metric ton. So our focus, if it is present level is 330 and we have to increase the 540 or maybe around 600 million ton. So if you address the issue of plant protection, certainly your production will be double, and certainly these area can be taken up by the interventions of different integrated approaches. So coming to the weeds, I think many of are aware of wheat is basically a plant which is grown out of place. Even in your wheat crop, if mustard is a crop there, so that mustard is also a wheat, because here we want wheat crop only. So anything which is not required or out of place, so that is considered to be a weed. And weed basically competes for the different resources, basically nutrients, water, and light. So these are the major resources that needs to be curtailed down. Then only the crop will be benefited for exploiting or getting the benefit from the nutrients and water light. The another issue I think you might be aware of, that allelopathy, which is root exudates or the leaches from the foliar or the stem. So some of the time it is toxic to crop. So that is also a allelopathy. So that is also there for the weeds. And some cases we have seen that 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 is one of the weed which is exudating some of the chemicals which are uh, uh, minimizing the presence of or the infestation of the Parthenium. So many times when we talk about the use of botanicals for controlling Parthenium, we recommend 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬, and especially it is in peninsular zone and the other area, the use of 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 is very much prevalent, and farmers, they are being told to spread the seeds of 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 to minimize the menace of Parthenium. Again, the weed also serve as an alternate host for various pests, and the Parthenium and Lantana are such a deadly weeds that which are affecting the human and animal health. And because of Parthenium and Lantana and Mecania, our biodiversity is being lost. So in many of the park or the national park, we witnessed that how these weeds are curtailing down the biodiversity and the other fauna and flora. The losses due to crop pest, if you look at, so 37% loss is due to weeds, and insect is 29%, and disease is 22%. And if you talk about the rodents and other maybe nematodes, so it may come to around 12%. But economic losses study is being carried out by the AICRP unit, and they have find out that this rice 28,000 crore is the maximum loss due to wheat is there, as compared to the wheat is the second number position, that is 21,606 crore. So likewise, different values are depicted here for different crops. Certainly in rainy season, the wheat problem is more, so the figures are more as compared to the winter season. But in winter season, particularly in wheat crop, there are certain weeds which are really creating a problem, like Phallus minor, Chenopodium, and the convolvulus urbensis, and sometimes Rumex and the others also. So these are the weeds which are really creating problem and coming into the very big number, where the very heavy infestation is there. And this invasive plant species also invading roughly around the 22% of natural habitats across the 20 Indian states, and their potential to reach up to 66% of green areas in India. And of the 11 species, the Lantana 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 was the most invasive species, covering around 50% of the natural habitats. And one-time management of invasive species in Indian forest will need around the $13.5 billion. So these are some of the important data related to the invasive weed species. And invasive, I think you might be understanding that the species which comes from the different native countries. So basically that weed is not a native of our country. So those weeds considered to be as a imported wheat from different countries. So that is a basically invasive. And there are some aquatic weeds also, and you might have seen certain ponds and the other water bodies which are affecting by these aquatic weeds. And these aquatic weeds have a 2.5 to 13 times higher evaporation transpiration than that of a free water surface. So basically, by the presence of these weeds, the flow of water is reduced up to 90%, and other things, because for the poor people, for the villagers, the pond water is their main source of for many their day-to-day business. So sometimes it's really problematic when we have infestation of aquatic weed in their system. So this I told you about how the Bracharia is one of the weed which is host for the rice mealybug, and Parthenium is a host for the papaya mealybug. So these are certain examples of how the weed also act as a host for different insect and pest. So now coming to the what are the major issues in the weed management? So basically, labor availability is the most problematic in the our day-to-day farming, and labor cost is also increasing. So certainly labors are not available during the peak season. And another is the lack of efficient machinery and the mechanical weeding tool. And low adoption of IWM practices, that is also one of the issue, that how it can be increased in a very efficient way. Because we always talk about the integrated weed management, and we have to do the integrated manner, but many times farmers they just simply want to spray the one chemical and they want to get the result of their fullest satisfaction, which is not possible. Then the herbicide resistance is also one of the major issues. In the fellness manner, the sulfosulfone, chlorinoform, and the other chemicals which were recommended, but after 2 or 3 years, the chemicals were withdrawn and it was taken back. So certainly in Punjab and Haryana, the problem of resistance is really issue. Then management of weeds, particularly in conservation agriculture, organic and natural farming, because nowadays we always talk about the natural farming and the organic farming. So in this production system, the problem of weeds is severe sometimes. And for managing weeds in this production system is very limiting. Here you can't go for the chemical spray. Here you have a limited options, and right from the beginning you have to plan in such a way that we should be limited to a below the means that economic threshold level, or the without harming the main crop. So that is also another point. Then management of alien invasive weeds, whether it's a Parthenium, Lantana, or the other invasive weeds. So that is also major. So it's not so possible. It's not so easy to control those invasive weeds in a very easy way. And management of parasitic weeds like Cascuta or Obenki, these are some of the weeds which are very troublesome and very difficult to control them when they are in the field. So for that also you need to have a very comprehensive plan to manage those weeds. And there's of course the climate change is the area where the weed problem is severe. And under the climate changing environment, the weed controlling weeds and the getting the efficiency of the herbicides under the climate change, when the temperature would be high, or the uneven rainfall is there, or many of the issues are there related to the climate. So under certain situation, the management aspects needs to be more attentive and the accurate. This is the actually talk about the farm labor availability of different states. So I think already we have told you, means in nutshell, you just think of that labor availability in coming days is going to be a very big problem, and already it is there. Many of these states, they are not getting labor, so they have to have dependent on the chemical farming or the mechanical farming. And again the lack of efficient weeding machinery is also another issue, because of the skilled labor is not available. Then effectiveness is also dependent on the mechanical tools, and cost and time, that is also high as compared to the other management aspects. And another issue is some of the weeds are mimic to the crop plant. And suppose 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 is there. So 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 is resembling to the rice crop. Likewise, cyanidon, dactylon is propagated through the vegetatively. So their control is not so easy that you have sprayed one chemical and it will be killed. No. After killing vegetation part, because the underground tubers are there, so they will come up after a certain period of time. Then lack of IWM technologies. So already most of the time the research is mostly oriented with the herbicide centric, and the IWM technology also, it's a herbicide centric only. Many times we get the recommendation of one chemical followed by one hand weeding, or pre-emergence then post-emergence, like that. So there are many of the management aspects which needs to be done in the multi-tactics weed management approaches, and certainly the diversification part is also important issue which needs to be focused. So coming to the consumption of herbicides, so basically the herbicide consumption in our country is too low. It is just 16%. So, and if you look at the, my slides are visible?
नो सर
सर अभी
दिख रही है?
सर पहले दिख रहा था, अब नहीं दिख रहा सर।
नहीं दिख रहा?
नहीं सर,
नहीं दिख रहा सर अब अब दिख रहा है सर।
दिख रहा है ना? अच्छा।
हाँ
It's moving also?
यस सर यस सर।
So our pesticide consumption in India is, if you talk about the herbicide, it is low, actually 16% only. Whereas in America and other countries, this is around 49%. So they are more focused for the herbicide application and the use of herbicides as compared to ourselves. But again, the another contradiction is that here in our country, the insecticide use is more. It is coming around to 51%. Whereas in the other countries, it is around just to 21%. And herbicide use, if you talk about the more than 10,000 tons, so it is a statistics of the technical brand. So we are just 9,700 tons of herbicide use. So if you compare with USA, we are far lagging behind in terms of herbicide use. In our country, herbicide use is a very minimum side. Only the UP, Punjab, Haryana, Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, these are the major states which are really going for the use of different chemicals. The herbicide resistance weeds also, it's an issue where already 530 species are there, which are herbicide resistant weeds globally, and in which 55 dicots weeds are there and 170 monocots are there. And mostly the HR weeds have been reported in 100 crops in 72 countries. And the herbicide group is of ALS inhibitors. That is, a 126 resistant species are the most prone to resistant, followed by the trigenes and the SSS case inhibitors. So these are the basically two groups, ALS inhibitors and ACS inhibitors. These are the two groups which most of the herbicides which are coming nowadays is available in the market. These are some of the example of herbicide resistant weeds in India. In wheat, we have found the Felis manner, and Felis manner is resistant with the isoprotein chlorinoxidine. And for wheat, for controlling Lumax, the metsulfuron. And so most of the, you might be observing that wheat crop, whatever the herbicides are coming, they are getting resistance after 2 to 3 years. So this is a very big issue. Whereas in rice, the Cyprus deformis and the 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 is resistant to bisbaribate sodium, because bisbaribate sodium is very common herbicides for controlling weeds in rice crop. And soybean imazethapyr is being registered to have a resistance for the 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 and the 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬. So these are the latest update related to the herbicide resistant wheat. The other issue is the herbicide residue in food, soil, water. But most of the herbicide which are available in the market through the Central Insecticide Board is basically cleared from the herbicide residue part. So there is no toxicity level is being registered. And of course, the weed shift is there. If you are going for a grassy weed killer, then certainly after killing the grassy weeds, the second season you will find the dicot weeds. So likewise, weed shift is there. Then sometime herbicide drift is there when the weather is windy. Then if you are going for the herbicide application, then there are chances to have a herbicide drift, and your crop may get the phytotoxicity effect due to presence of herbicides. Then impact on human health and the non-target organism, that sometime for the aquatic controlling aquatic weed, we cannot go for the putting the herbicides, because they applying the herbicides in the water bodies, sometime it may have a fatal for the fishes. So that is there. So another issue was there. How, of course, that issue has been resolved now, but these 27 pesticides were asked by the draft notification for the prohibition, and in which the pendimethalin and 2,4-D were also, because these two herbicides are mostly very common and farmers are using this thing. And even for the glyphosate, which are also very important herbicide for controlling the weeds in the non-selective area, and as a non-targeted weed, mostly the farmers are using this glyphosate. But it was asked to go for the pest control operators, and through pest control operators, this glyphosate can be applied to the field of farmers and the other stakeholders. But again, the ban is lifted, and it has been given up to the March 2025, and it is being used now, because the government find that the glyphosate is not toxic, because one of the case was introduced that America, one gardener was applying the glyphosate and he was detected for the carcinogenic, and that later on it was told that it was not because of the glyphosate carcinogenic, it was due to some other issue. So basically, they wanted to have some money from the Monsanto India Limited, because that time, sorry, Monsanto, he was there, which was mainly for the production of. So now, coming to the issues related to the conservation agriculture. So basically, conservation agriculture, we have found that mostly the wheat flora shift is there from the grasses to perennial weeds. After 10 years of using conservation agriculture as a permanent site, so it has been observed that the problem of perennial wheat is more as compared to the other production system. And the zero tillage, we have observed that the problem of grassy weeds and the rice mealybug, because in totality, if you see that what are the problem of weeds and the other plant protection issues. So armyworm in wheat and the mealybug, rice mealybug in rice, we have observed for zero tillage plot. So this was some of the findings. And the invasive weeds, we have to have biocontrol. This Jaivubrahma bicolor, I think beetle you might have heard, for controlling Parthenium, and New Catina species for water hyacinth, and this Cryptobagus salvini for salvinia. So these are this thing, and Cryptobagus salvinia recently being issued the technology certificate from the ICR for the use of biocontrol in the field. Coming to the management parasitic weeds, so we have a Cuscuta or a Benki striga lorantha. So these are the different parasitic weeds which needs to be controlled, and these are difficult to control because of their physical and biochemical, physiological, and genetic connection. And higher seed production is there, 1 to 5 lakhs seed production is there. and limited herbicide option is there. And coming to the weed management under changing climate, so these are the facility which are available in ICR institutions for OTC and the free air carbon dioxide and enrichment. So if you look at the growth under the elevated CO2, so these are the response of elevated CO2 600 ppm and ambient CO2 for 400 ppm. The growth, you can see how the Parthenium growth is more under the higher concentration of the carbon dioxide as compared to the 400 concentration of the carbon dioxide. And the seed also, you can see that the elevated carbon dioxide of 550 ppm, the seed number is of 18,500, and for 400 ppm and 550 ppm of the 26,000. So 66% increase is there in terms of the seed production also. So higher concentration will have a more growth, more seed production, and definitely more weed problem will be there. Likewise, for the elevated carbon dioxide of the growth and biomass partitioning in Parthenium. So again, if you look at the ambient and the elevated, certainly the elevated has the more number of luxuriant growth of Parthenium. Likewise, the maturity of Avena ludoviciana, if you look at the carbon dioxide, so certainly the elevated CO2 at the maturity is more fast as compared to the ambient CO2. And here the use of chemical, if you look at the 5 days after application, or 5 days after sowing, so here the ambient CO2, under ambient CO2, the chlordinoform is giving a good control, as you can see in the pot. Whereas in the elevated CO2, the response of chlordinoform is weak. Here the plants are more greener than the ambient CO2. Likewise, the herbicide efficacy of under changing climate, here the delayed response is there in most of the cases, especially for the bisbaribex sodium, if you look at the weeds of 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬 alternanthera. And likewise for the tambotrione plus atrazine and tobramazine. So these are the certain effect of these chemicals under the ambient and the elevated carbon dioxide. Coming to the weed management, which of basically the integration of the multiple tactics approach. What are the new approaches for the management of weed biology and the ecology? So ecological approach, mostly the crop diversification and the weed competitive cultivars, crop geometry. These are the certain issues which can be taken up for the ecological approach. And under the automated weed control, the robotics are there. The IIT Kanpur has made robots for controlling the weeds in the field condition by image processing and the remote sensing. Because nowadays we are talking about the AI and the other remote sensing management aspect. So certainly for the weed management and use of drones also is there. Nano herbicide application is there. Genomics advances for the next generation. I talked about that, how the weed genomics and the genome editing is there for managing the weeds. And the weed crop interaction, the herbicide efficacy under the changing climate is there. Big data analysis and the public-private partnership is again the issue which needs to be taken care of in an integrated manner. Another is the issue managing the weed seed bank. So we have to think of how the knowledge of weed biology and the ecology and the tillage and the harvest of weed seed control is really makes a lot of difference for making a effect of tillage on germination and dormancy, and how we can minimize the seed bank, because the 1 year seeding is the 7-year weeding. So harvest weed this seed bank, that is very much important. So vertical distribution of weed seed in a loamy sand soil and then silty loam soil. If you look at how the percentage under the no-till is there, and as compared to the soil depth of moldboard plow, zero level is around 12%. So in the no-till plot, the initial depth of 0 to 2, most of the weeds are there. But in case of moldboard plot, where the tillage has been done, the weed seed go to the deeper layer. So in this case, the seeds are after 5 to 6 inches. First 5 inches, you will find only 25% weed, but after 5 inches deeper, you will find the most of the weeds of 37% to 38%. Coming to the how the competitive ability of the crops can be enhanced by making a density and the geometric and changing the planting time. So these are all the agronomic manipulations and the management aspect. If you look at the how in integrated management manner, we may have a suppression, then the role of plant traits in the competitive ability. So that is also very important. The field pea is the most competitive crop. In the field pea, you will not find the weeds as compared to the rye crop. So here it is written that rye is the most sensitive crop, followed by oat, barley, then wheat, mustard, field pea. So mustard and the field pea is the crop where the mustard and field pea are more competitive in terms of suppressing the weeds. Again, the crop architecture is also important, and ability to intercept the light. So that is also an aspect. Then the trade-off between the yield potential and the weed completion. So basically, the most competitive cultivars are not always the highest yielding cultivars. So basically, these are some of the points which can be enhance the competitive ability of the crop. More tillering, more competitive. So you will be having a less weeds. So basically, you have to make a plant in such a way, plant architecture in such a way that you should not allow weeds to come into the field. And coming to the crop diversification, so wheat should be challenged with a broad range of stress and the mortality. So basically, the crop mixture and sequences should be designed in such a manner that it maximizes the capture of your resources, which I talked about, the light, water, and the nutrients. So that should be there. And coming to the crop rotation, so variation in timing of crop management practices, soil condition, use of herbicides. So these are some of the issues for crop diversification, for making a resource use, weed suppression, genotype, soil fertility, spatial arrangement in terms of intercropping. Then herbicide resistant crop. There are herbicide resistant crop issues there, GM crop, but nowadays these are put into back seat. So government has given the least priority. But the other area of genome editing and the other technologies coming up, which are more or less comparable to the HRC technology or the GM technology. So definitely the advantage with this technology is that you have to use the fewer herbicides. You do not to remember many big lists to control the weeds for different herbicides. The another is it is selective to control for parasitic weeds also, because we don't have options for controlling parasitic weeds in presence of different crops. The controversy is related to the basically a superweed. Superweed basically the pollen from the particular weed which are meant for controlling through glufosinate or the glyphosate. If this pollen pass to the other crop, so it may become superweed. So certainly that species will not be controlled by the particular weed. So that issue is there. Another is the infringement of farmer's right. Infringement of farmer's right means here you cannot use the seed for the next year also. So whatever our present situation in conventional agriculture, we are producing and we are keeping the seeds for the next year. So that infringement is affecting by the farmers. This is the important aspect. Imagine the tolerant price. So certainly MSFI tolerant hybrid rice is the technology in DSR and seasonal application of 100 gram per hectare at 14 to 20 days provided excellent weed control with higher rice yield and excellent control of wild rice in DSR. That is also the easy, very good control for the wild rice by using the imazethapyr tolerant rice. And Pusa Basmati 197 and Pusa Mati 1985, this contain a mutated acetolactate synthase, ALS gene. So basically, this was the technology which was developed from the IRI. And many of the industry, they are producing this imazethapyr tolerant rice. Again, the precision weed management robotics. So these are the issues which can have a robotics machine for detection and the weed control automation and the efficiency for technological revolution of the broader weed management. And basically, it comes under the site-specific weed management program for using remote sensing technology. Another, the use of RNA interference and the RNA technology. This RNA molecules is to silence the key weed genes, leading to increased weed susceptibility to herbicide or the death of the weed. Then bio-based approaches are there. How the bio-based approaches for bioherbicides. This is also the initiatives have been taken up by the different organizations, and certainly the host-specific bioagents needed for the integrating the biological control with other methods of weed management. And successful example for this one is the Zygogramma bicolorata for Parthenium and Nucleotide species against the water hyacinth. So basically, use of natural products and the allelopathic compounds based on the secondary metabolites. So these are the certain bio-based approaches are there for improving the formulation and delivery technology. Then phytoremediations are there for polluted water, utilizing the aquatic weeds. So we have two species, Typha latifolia and the Arundodonex, which can reduce the nickel and cadmium. So basically, these are the very heavy metals which can be used for the phytoremediation purpose. Then the information technology and the extension, these are the tool. And we have nowadays different social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and the other this thing. So how best we may have interventions for making a information technology and the extension. And the web search engines for the big data or the digital farming, these are there for accessing the most of the information related to PPP. Today I talked that we had one important meeting at the Krishi Bhavan, and virtual mode. This meeting was there, and all the ISR institution KVK joined the meeting and interacted with the many of the issues related with the industry side and the government side, that how best we may have a public funding money, and because the industry have a CSR funding. So basically the CSR funding can be used for doing the research and the other issues related to the agriculture. And certainly the area where the judicious use of herbicides, because the application technique part for the herbicides is different as compared to the insecticide and the other chemical. Here the chemicals which are we are using is to control the weeds. At the same time, we have to save the crop also. So here the selectivity is the very important aspect whenever we are going for herbicidal application. So conclusion, coming to the end, that modern weed management system is rely heavily on the herbicide. So basically it is not ecological sustainable. So we have to have an integrated approach. And many of the aspects I told you in the previous slides, that how best we may have these approaches for managing the weeds. Then combining multiple tools and techniques and technological advancement in an integrated weed management strategy is necessary to address the emerging challenges in weed management. And multidisciplinary and multi-institutional approach, that is also important. You see, when I was talking about the robotics and the other issues, the IIT Kanpur come forward and they have come out with the beautiful robotics and the effective robotics technique for controlling the weeds. Likewise, we are talking about the drone application, the other application, and certainly Government of India has given a permission of using bisbaribate sodium. Only one herbicide has been allowed by the government to be used in through drone application. Otherwise, this drone application is being recommended for using in the your nutrient management aspects. And basically, the other approaches when we talk about the integrated nutrient practices, it is of basically promoting the soil fertility and they reduce the emission by using the organic fertilizer and compost. That's why today in the discussion, it was told by the one of the former director of IRI, Dr. 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬, that government should take the initiative in terms of producing the nitrogenous fertilizer or the phosphatic fertilizer, that the company should come out with 30% manufacturing producing the biofertilizer and rest 70% should be of chemical fertilizer, because the it has been observed that the use of biofertilizer is reducing the requirement of nitrogen, phosphorus, and the other chemical elemental phosphorus, fertilizer. So these are the certain issues which required, and I think I have talked about the most of the points, and then if you want any points to be interacted, so it will be welcome. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir, for this session. So, give permission to the participants so they can unmute themselves or ask questions from the sir directly.
कोई क्वेरी है, यदि कोई कुछ पूछना चाहता है तो वो अनम्यूट करके सीधा डायरेक्टर साहब से बात कर सकता है.
1-to-1 question.
Sir, good evening. This is Dr. Samir from Schwartz. Sir, I would like to know the economics of using AI technologies in weed management.
You see that economics part right now we have not come across from the different agency. Still we are under the developing stage and the stage where we are working. Maybe some of the 1 or 2 agencies have come out. So it is very difficult to tell you about the economics because still we are in the infant stage, and so it's very difficult.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Good evening, sir. Myself, Dr. 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬.
Yeah.
Sir,
बताइए इंद्रजीत साहब.
Sir, how can control weeds in ragi crops post emergence?
Ragi crop is basically a grassy crops, and for controlling grassy weeds in grassy crop as a post emergence, it's very difficult. So only answer for controlling weeds in ragi crop is the use of oxyfluorophane or pendimethalin, and post emergence applications are not there. Even in some cases we try to have a atrazine, that to sublethal dose of 0.5 kg per hectare. So that has also given us some good results because we tried in the Bastar region and the other tribal belt. So that also you can try.
Thank you, sir.
Hello, sir. I am Dr. Arunjit from Kerala. I have a query whether shall we use drones for this post-emergent spraying or like that in case of weed management. Normally, we are seeing some other foliar application and all. Whether is there any chance or work is going on in those aspects, early post-emergence or post-emergence like that?
Yeah. So Government of India in the Gazette notification recently he has come out and he has given the permission to the Pesticide India, that is a PI, and PI is the sole manufacturing of the bisbaribate sodium. So only for this chemical bisbaribate sodium is to be sprayed. It can be sprayed through drone. in the rice field.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
So that
Good evening,
Sir,
doctor.
may I know one
Yeah.
more thing, sir? May I have, so there may be some difference in dosage, you know, whether it has been standardized or work is going on in those aspects, because the spray volume will be very less, no, in the case of this drone spraying and all.
Yeah.
So
Spray
when
volume
they
is
have-
just 50 liters. 50 liters is sufficient for 1 acre.
So how they will, then what about the dosage? Because normally we'll be telling this much hectare, this much quantity per hectare, no, in the case of our herbicides. So the
No,
quantity will be different, no?
Quantity of the herbicide.
Yes, sir. Quantity
Yeah,
of
quantity
herbicide.
of herbicide and the volume spray would be different. Its SOP is given in their leaflets and the for the using in the drone.
Okay, sir.
That is
I will
entirely
refer to
different
the study.
calibrations.
Okay,
Yeah.
sir. Okay. Thank you.
Sir, good evening, sir.
Good evening.
This is Rudra Gowda working as agronomist with Coffee Board.
Okay.
It's thanks for your informative very nice presentation, sir. I would like to know this.
Thank
Right now, in plantation crops, we are using the glyphosate and 𝐃𝐚𝐲𝐬.
Yeah.
Some resistance from the end users, that's the growers. Is there any?
Yeah.
What is your best suggestion for alternatives, sir, for trying for the research as well as from the end user the prospects?
And end user prospect in terms of using the herbicides in the plantation crop. So basically, in the plantation crop, the glyphosates and the other these paraquats, it is already recommended, and the farmers are using it. There is no ban on that one actually. And the
I
other
got it.
hello.
Please, sir. Please, sir.
And the other molecule is there, glufosinate. Have you heard this name, glufosinate?
Yes, sir. Glyphosate. Yes, sir.
Yeah. So glufosinate is also one of the molecules which can be used for in the plantation crop for controlling the weeds. So basically, in the plantation crop, only this kind of herbicides are recommended, and the farmers are using it.
But true, sir. That's I too agree, sir. But however, since these are the majority of the plantations or crops are export oriented, some kind of the residuals detecting some restrictions are there. Is there any other eco-friendly ways, other alternative molecules for trying in the plantation crops, sir? Hello, sir. Hello, sir.
Dixit sir. दीक्षित सर आवाज आ रहा है आपको?
हेलो
सर मीटिंग में तो है।
हाँ मीटिंग में सर, लेकिन शायद हो सकता है नेटवर्क इशू। दीक्षित सर, सर लेफ्ट हो गया। आई थिंक कुछ नेटवर्क इशू है।
हाँ रिजॉइन करेंगे, आप देखे रहना, बस पोस्ट बना देना।
Sir, just wait for 2 or 3 minutes. Actually, there is a network issue, so I think.
Hello, sir.
Left.
Sir, it is better to open the chat box so that he can say, sir.
Okay, sir. Okay, bye.
मैं कॉल लगा रहा हूँ सर को।
जी सर।
इलेक्ट्रिसिटी इशू हेड में ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं, ठीक है?
ओके सर।
लाइव चली गई, 2 मिनट में ज्वाइन कर। और मैं जो सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स इस समय ज्वाइन किए हैं, मैं उनसे ये कहना चाहूंगा कि कल हमारा लास्ट और वैलिडेटरी सेशन है, जिसमें ऑनरेबल वाइस चांसलर श्री कोंडा लक्ष्मण तेलंगाना स्टेट हॉर्टिकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटी तेलंगाना की वाइस चांसलर प्रोफेसर नीरजा प्रभाकर जी का लेक्चर होगा। वही चीफ गेस्ट है वैलिडेटरी की। तो आप सभी लोग उसको ज्वाइन करें। मैं ये कहना चाहूंगा कि कल लास्ट लेक्चर है जो कि वैलिडेटरी है, और आप लोग प्लीज उसको ज्वाइन करें। और उसकी जो टाइमिंग है वो 4 PM रखी गई है, क्योंकि 6:30 PM पे मैडम की मीटिंग है, तो उसको प्रीपोन्ड किया गया है। तो आप उसको 4 PM पे ज्वाइन करें। मैं अभी रिवाइज सर्कुलर डाल दूंगा व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे, जो हमारा ग्रुप है। तो आप सभी लोग 4 PM पे ज्वाइन कर लीजिएगा। कल 1 घंटे का हार्डली लेक्चर होगा, वैलिडेटरी सेशन है, और फिर हम जो है सर्टिफिकेट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन को आगे बढ़ाएंगे 5 सितंबर से। 5 सितंबर से हम सर्टिफिकेट डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन स्टार्ट करेंगे। और कल ही हम अपने विंटर स्कूल के बारे में अनाउंसमेंट करेंगे कि हम लोग विंटर स्कूल भी एक करने जा रहे हैं विंटर में, और इससे पहले एक इंटरनेशनल कॉन्फ्रेंस करने जा रहे हैं, उसका भी अनाउंसमेंट अपन करेंगे।
Hello.
Yes sir. Yes sir. You're audible, sir.
Yeah, audible, na?
Yes sir.
So basically, the query was related to the plantation crop. Okay. So my point is that in plantation crop, we have an option of using glyphosate, paraquat, and to some extent we may use the glufosinate also, which are non-selective in nature, by the use of hood. Because any non-selective herbicides, if you are using in the plantation crop, that has to be used by the hood and the protected, as a protected spray only. And in the
Sir,
same
I
case,
totally agree. I
hello?
totally agree with you, sir. Hello, sir. Can you
Yeah.
hear me, sir?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
totally agree. I totally agreed with you, sir. Glyphosate and glyphosate.
Yeah.
But the problem is, since the coffee is export oriented, in
Okay.
few
So
lots,
in that
some
case,
glyphosate
in that
is
case,
there.
that limit is actually not allowed.
Yes, sir.
So that is the issue. Yes, yes, yes. That
Is there any alternative ways, eco-friendly herbicides? Do you want to suggest for experiment or the any end user point, so that we would be happy to try some eco-friendly or any safer herbicides from the point of the EU market or other international markets, sir?
basically glyphosate is considered to be the very safe molecule, as actually. It gets degraded as it gets connected with the soil, so it is easily deactivated basically. So other than glyphosate, to my mind, it's not any coming to this thing, but
Correct,
certainly in future, such areas are required to be focused for the export point of view.
But the only unfortunate thing is that in the whether it's good or bad, many of the policymakers are they thinking that glyphosate is a bad chemical or some kind of propaganda is same.
No, that's what the glyphosate has given the bad name basically. Otherwise,
Yeah,
glyphosate is such a wonderful molecule, and because of that issue only, it was suggested that it has to be sprayed in under the restricted condition with the help of PCO and the other things. If you make so much of stringent conditions, so definitely the using that particular chemical freely in that field is very difficult.
correct, sir.
So that is there. How to change the perception? It's very difficult, but anyway, we are recommending here in our most of the farms and the other issue things, and for the policy and the planners, really that glyphosate has come into the radar. That is there. That perception. change.
Thanks for your suggestions. We'll reach you after the training session also, sir.
Yeah,
for some.
sure.
Thanks, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Most welcome.
Good evening, doctor. This is Teja Shankar from Karnataka. I have a
Yes.
small question.
Ji.
Is there any organic herbicides available in the country or anywhere else, sir?
Organic herbicides is not available in the country basically. We have availability of some bioherbicides which is being recommended, or the so again that those herbicides are not giving the very good result in the field condition. So
Okay.
that is again the under the evaluation stage.
Okay. Thank you, doctor. Thank you.
Hello.
Yeah,
Hello.
please.
Yes, sir. I'm Rohan Shinde,
Yeah, please.
and I'm from Maharashtra.
Okay.
सर मैं ये बोल रहा था कि जो मतलब बीएससी एग्रीकल्चर मेरा बीएससी एग्रीकल्चर हो चुका है,
अच्छा,
और कोई भी कंपनी मेरे को ले नहीं रही है, मतलब मैं फ्रेशर हूँ। एक्चुअल फ्रेशर के लिए कुछ अपॉर्चुनिटी वगैरह कुछ बता सकते हैं आप?
फ्रेशर्स के लिए मेरी सजेशन ये होगी कि नार में या जयपुर में या कहीं अगर में एग्रीकल्चर बिजनेस मैनेजमेंट के कोर्सेज होते हैं एबीएम के,
हाँ।
उसको अगर आप कर लेंगे, डिप्लोमा कोर्सेज होते हैं, तो वहां पर कैंपस प्लेसमेंट की जो है अपॉर्चुनिटीज रहती हैं, तो वहां पर आप देख सकते हैं। तो थोड़ा सा आपने उसमें अगर रिज्यूम में ये कोर्सेज अगर ऐड कर लोगे, देन यू विल गेट द एम्पल अपॉर्चुनिटी टू गेट इनटू दैट बिजनेस।
ओके सर, बीएससी एग्रीकल्चर के भरोसे पे कुछ नहीं मिलेगा क्या?
नहीं, बीएससी एग्रीकल्चर क्योंकि कॉम्पिटिटिव जमाना है ना, अब आजकल वो जमाने गए। अब हमारे
हाँ,
फादर कहते थे कि जब हम इटावा से यहाँ आए थे तो ये हालात थी कि मेडिकल में भी एडमिशन मिल रहा था और इंजीनियरिंग में भी मिल रहा था। ये बात है
हाँ।
1965 की। और आज आपको पता है कि मेडिकल गेटिंग एडमिशन, मेडिकल एंड इंजीनियरिंग इज सच ए टफेस्ट जॉब। तो दिस ऑल डिपेंड्स ऑन द कंपटीशन ना। वी हैव ए 140 बिलियन पीपल, and if we'll expect that simply after completing BSc AG will get the job, it's really very tough situation and the position. So it's my
Okay, sir.
advice that you go for the ABM courses and the other diploma marketing, market-led thinking should be there. So,
Okay,
so
sir.
certainly these people will definitely hire you. Okay.
हाँ सर, आप बीएससी एग्रीकल्चर स्टूडेंट्स के लिए कुछ स्किल्स वगैरह बता सकते हैं आप? मतलब कौन से स्किल्स होनी चाहिए?
नहीं, कोर्सेज स्किल तो हम लोग नहीं करते हैं, बट देर आर सर्टेन ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस वेयर दे गिव द स्किल ओरिएंटेड प्रोग्राम to the students and the farmers. There are certain organizations there you can approach. There are certain MOOC courses are there. The NARM Hyderabad, they are imparting such programs. Even the national institutions like IRI and the NDRI, if you want to have a dairy sector or the other sector for having a more skill in your career, then you can approach those institutions for their MOOC courses and the other, and they are very nominal charges. They charge, I think, for one diploma courses and the other this thing for just simply 2,000. So by adding in your resume those skill oriented courses, certainly then your profile will have a more impact to the organization.
ओके सर, ठीक है ना.
Okay.
Sir, good evening, sir. I am
Good
Gomati
evening.
from Tamil Nadu.
Yeah.
Sir, how can we manage weeds under natural farming system? Because the machinery is also
Natural
limiting
farming
factor.
system, basically we used to give the emphasis on the mulching aspect. So mulching is also another natural way of managing the weeds. Because in the natural farming, we cannot recommend any herbicides. So again, that will natural farming, basically the difference between the natural farming and the organic farming is that in natural farming, we cannot add any input from the outside. Whatever the naturally available things are available in the field, you have to manage from those resources only. Whereas in the organic farming, you can add the inputs, which is of organic in nature, so that can be added and considered as an organic farming.
Okay, sir. Is there any special practices to
Special practice only I
make
told
sure
you na,
that-
about that in the natural farming, when we are going for the indigenous cow urine and the cow dung and the preparation of those Agni Shastra and the other component of natural farming you might be knowing of. So
Yes,
all
sir.
this nectar is to be prepared and you can spray those. So certainly by spraying those nectars and the Shastra, certainly the weed infestation is low. And again, that in the mulching technique, whatever the residues are there from the tree fall or from the plant, this thing. So by this way, you may have a better control of weeds as compared to the conventional system.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir.
Okay, thank you. So okay, if not, Dr. Ankur.
जी सर, अब हमें लगता है कोई क्वेरी नहीं है क्योंकि लेक्चर इतना बेहतरीन रहा आपका, लोग
चलिए,
सराहना
thank
कर
you.
रहे हैं उसकी.
No, no,
है ना, बहुत
I am very much impressed about the participants' knowledge level, and certainly I think this training program has given a very good vast publicity to the from north to south and east to west. So that's the
नहीं सर,
beauty.
मैं बता रहा हूँ सर, 74 स्टेट एग्रीकल्चर यूनिवर्सिटीज के रजिस्ट्रेशन हमारे पास है सर.
Very good. That's a really unique and really the participants, they need a skill development program and in the agriculture field.
और मैं सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स को ये बताना भी चाहूंगा कि सर इस कार्यक्रम के चीफ ऑर्गेनाइजिंग सेक्रेटरी हैं, चीफ ऑर्गेनाइजिंग डायरेक्टर.
थैंक यू.
जी 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 सर, बहुत बढ़िया रहा सर. मेरे अनुरोध पे आपने सर ज्वाइन किया, भले ही आप जो है अपने ऑफिस से अपने घर 10-15 मिनट लेट पहुंचे, आपने एक कप चाय भी नहीं पी, है ना, मेरे अनुरोध पे आपने डायरेक्ट जाके ज्वाइन कर लिया सर. यही स्नेह बनाए रखिएगा हमेशा.
नहीं, ये तो मेरी इट्स माय मॉरल ड्यूटी टू इम्पार्ट द नॉलेज. या प्लीज रुद्रा.
Shall I a small request to the organizers? Is it possible to share the email ID and mobile number of the resource persons all the days?
Yeah, I think it can be shared.
कर देंगे, बिल्कुल कर देंगे, बिल्कुल.
Certainly it can be shared and you will get it from the Dr. Ankur Sharma.
Okay, sir. Yes. Thank you, sir.
We'll do the needful. ठीक है, यदि सर आदेश हो तो हम लेक्चर को एंड करें सर.
Yes, thank you, है ना?
Thank you, सभी पार्टिसिपेंट लेफ्ट कर.
Today, on behalf of AgriMeet Foundation, I interacted with the participants of our very important 21 days training program, and really it was very enjoyable and the enlightenment by getting the feedback from the participants and interacting with the participants. And a special thanks to Dr. Ankur Sharma and his team for making all-out efforts for all sort of training program and the international seminar and symposia to disseminate the knowledge of agriculture and the advancement of the agriculture to our stakeholders. So thank you very much and all the very best.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for your kind words, sir. Thank you.
Okay.
सभी participants left कर सकते हैं. Good night, all of you.
Thank you so much, sir.